Namaste. In the last video, we understood pods and we even created pods. But here's something. In the real world, you don't really create pods directly. Instead, you create something called as deployments, which in turn creates pods automatically. Now, what it is, and why it is extremely important. We'll cover all of that in today's video. So, let's get started. Pods have big limitation. It does not automatically come back to life if or when it crashes. That means your application which is hosted on the pod will also go down, and of course you don't want that. We want something that can manage pod lifecycle on their own. This is where deployment comes in handy. This being higher level object, it can do all lifecycle related stuff automatically. Means it can spin up a new pod if it goes down. We can also ask it to create multiple replicas, and it would make sure to keep those numbers alive. It's the job of the deployment to keep the desired state equal to current state. Now, one important thing to understand here is a deployment does not run pods directly. It creates another Kubernetes object called as ReplicaSet, and ReplicaSet in turn creates pods. So this is the hierarchy. Deployment, it creates ReplicaSet, and that in turn creates pods which has containers. In short, deployment defines what you want, ReplicaSet ensures how many pods you want to run, and pods run the actual containers. Today I thought let's do our demo on Killer Coda. So like Killer Coda, there are other options as well, but Killer Coda is something where we can practice Kubernetes, like search like this, click on playground, and you'll have to log in, of course. Now this I used for my practice while doing CKA. Click on this one here, check all the boxes. Now this is a free environment where Kubernetes is already installed here, and at any given point in time, you will get 1 hour of free usage, 60 minutes. Now this playground will always have latest version of Kubernetes a few weeks after its release. It will have 2 GB nodes, we'll check all of that. And you can practice CK, CKS, CKD and all etc. And you can in general practice Kubernetes here. So I will click on start, and here the timer starts. Now if you check, everything is already installed, you don't have to install anything here. So we have 2 nodes here, one control plane, one node. And here it says time. Now let's create a deployment right away. So we will do like this, like we did in previous videos, kubectl, create deployment. Now if you don't know what the command is, let's click help. And let's pick up one of the examples. Clear the screen first and copy paste the example. Now here we will create a deployment, and let's change the name. So the command is such kubectl create deployment and then deployment name. Let's name it as demo deployment. Image, we're using nginx image, and replicas, we will be spinning up 3 replicas of this deployment, and let's create it. Let's check if the deployment is created. Kubectl get deploy. It is still not ready. You can do, and you can use shortcut as well like K, because alias is already set up. Get deploy. It's running. Let's check if the pods are running. Get pods. Now let's see if the replica set is created or not, because we just created the deployment. So let's see, kubectl get replica set, short form is RS, and we can see a replica set is automatically created, demo deployment, and it has 3. If you check the description, it will say nginx image is there. So this is how a deployment is created. Now let's check a very important thing, how the YAML file of the deployment looks like. So let's clear the screen. Now in the previous videos we have seen kubectl run and demo compare pod. This is the name I'm giving, hyphen image. You can put the tab, or autocomplete is already set. Let's use the nginx image. Now we are trying to create YAML file here. So if you want, you can go to the documentation and check that as well. But since we need to get more practice as well, so let's generate it on the terminal itself. Hyphen dry run equals to client -o YAML. Now this is the YAML file. For comparison, I will just copy it into a folder. This is pod.yaml. Similarly, let's try to get deployment. So same thing, kubectl, create deployment. I'm just naming it hyphen image, same image, hyphen replicas. Take the replicas 5, 3, whatever the number you want. Let me correct the spelling here, nginx. And then of course dry run equals to client -o YAML. Let's copy this as well. So you saw we don't have to memorize anything in the YAML. You can directly generate it when you have the terminal. Now I will remove certain things here to make it a little bit cleaner. These are all default values which are set anyways. Even if you don't mention it, it's not a problem. Now when we see deploy.yaml, the API version is different, kind is different, it is deployment. Let's do one thing, let's compare it side by side. Now let's understand the difference between the pod YAML and the deployment YAML. API version here, since it's a higher object, it is under apps/version 1. Whereas in pod you will directly see it is version 1 or V1, since it is a core object. Kind here is deployment. Metadata is similar or same. You can mention labels, name, etc. Now comes spec, which is the most important part, and it was the most important part here as well in the pod. Replicas, by mentioning value over here, we will help replica set to understand what is the number of replicas we want, 3, 5, 10, whatever it is. Now one important thing is, as soon as a deployment is created, a replica set is created. You don't have to think like if you mention replicas over here, only then replica set is created. No, here you are mentioning the number of replicas. Now next is selector. Now this is important. Under selector there is match labels. What it does is, you will see the labels here, app demo compare deploy, and the label here, app demo compare deploy, these are same. What happens is, now how does deployment know that these are the pods that we want to get up and running? So here we are mentioning, although we are mentioning like we want 5 replicas, but how will deployment know which are the 5 pods that are running? As in our scenario here, let me open this. Now in our scenario, we see there are 3 pods running, but in real system we might have hundreds of pods running in our system, right? So how does the deployment know which pod are its own pod, or which pods come under this deployment? This is where label comes into picture. It searches for the exact label which the pods have, and then based on that, if a pod with this label goes down, it will spin it up. Okay, it will ask replica set to spin it up. Now here, this is the label that we have mentioned. Now under template, you will see we again have metadata, labels, and the same label. Now this part is for the pod. Okay, you will see it is similar to this one. Okay, so it is actually exact copy paste from here to here, just the naming convention is different. Otherwise it is the same thing. Metadata is taken from here, spec, containers, everything is taken from here. So this is the part which helps understand deployment, that what kind of pod or container inside the pod you want to create. So this was the YAML of deployment. Now if we apply this YAML as well, a deployment will be created with 5 number of replicas. Now let's create a deployment using YAML. You might already be familiar, but let's do it quickly so that we cover another scenario. Let's create a directory. Now let's see. So we have deploy.yaml. We'll do the same thing. kubectl apply -f. Let's see the deploy. So this is the new deploy that we created, new deployment, demo compare deploy, and it has 5 pods running. Okay, with deployment, scaling up or scaling down is quite easy. We can scale this one as well, but since we created that using imperative command, I thought let's scale it using this one, because in normal scenario you will be updating YAML files. You will be using imperative commands only when you're testing, or of course during exams, because that will be a faster one. So now let's say you want to scale up or scale down the number of pods. Okay. Of course you can do it automatically as well, but that will need HPA and other sort of implementation. But for now let's see the manual one. Now we have our deploy.yaml and we have mentioned their number as 5. Now let's scale it to 7. So what we'll do is, let's open that file, YAML file, and just update the number of replicas. It's very easy. And after that, same thing, just apply it. And then let's check if it is applied. And we can see it was scaled up. Similarly, you can bring the number of pods down as well. And there is another way as well. You can do kubectl edit deploy and then mention deployment. Let's say if you want to edit this one, then you can do the same thing. Okay, I'm not doing it again. So this is how scaling up or scaling down can be done in the deployment, and that's quite easy. Now deployment also helps in application updates, like when you change the container image. Like in this example we have created using Nginx latest image, right? Like if we check kubectl describe deployment, any deployment, dem compare. Now here the image is Nginx. Now here we have not mentioned any version number here, like 1.25, 1.28, whatever is the latest version. It is picking up the latest one. Now in the real world, what will happen is you will have an image and you will keep on updating it depending upon what you're making changes in the application. Now what deployment does is it creates new pods and it slowly removes the old pods. This is called as rolling update. Now by default our strategy here is rolling update strategy. So at any given point in time, 25% will be unavailable and 25% will increase. So if you have 4 pods running, then 25% is 1. So 1 will go down and then it will get replaced, and then similarly second, third and fourth. Now let's see that. Now before that let's see what all versions are there for Nginx. So that Nginx, we'll go to official images and tags. Let's try this one. I'm copying everything. Let's open our YAML again. Here we will just update the image here. Now it can be version 1 dot whatever. Like here I just picked up any random one here, but you might have other versions. Okay, so I have written it over here. Let's save it. Now we have to apply it. Now let's see if the deployment is up. Get deploy. And it's still running. Get pods. Okay, now we did the change over here. Everything is up. Let's pick up any pod here, or we can directly check describe as deployment as well. kubectl describe deploy, demo compare deploy. If you see in the events, you will see it brought down pods one by one, and then it brought up all the pods. Okay, here all of this. And if we see the image here, the image name has got updated. You see, this was so easy. Let's see what happened to our replica set. Here it is. So old replica set, it went down, it was deleted, and a new replica set got created. So this is how it works. There is one more command, kubectl rollout history deployment slash demo compare. Now obviously we did not mention anything, but it shows 2 revisions. If you want to go back, you can go back easily as well. Now how do you do that? It's very simple. You can say kubectl. So I'm just writing k, remember, because it is alias is already set. So we'll just do kubectl rollout undo deployment. That's it. Now what will happen? Our image will be changed back to whatever the name was. It is up. Let's see. Describe deployment, demo compare. And the image is changed back to Nginx. And if we see rollout history, it has created a new version. Now for now this is empty. You can also mention some message as in change cause while setting up the deployment, or after that you can also update it using the annotate command. Let's try that. kubectl annotate deployment, our deployment name, and then there is a huge big command. Is .io slash change cause equal to. Here we can mention the message, change the image back to Nginx. Now if we see rollout history, we can see our last version has the message. You can do this while setting the change or while rolling out the update. So this is how you can update the message as well. This is it for deployment. Remember, after you use the machine or the environment here, exit it. Of course, if you don't use it, it will close after an hour or whenever the time is up. But it's better to close it like this so that the resource is not wasted. Sorry, I clicked on wrong one. Exit, and that's it. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope everything was clear. If not, put all your questions in the comment section below. Next, we'll understand services in Kubernetes. Till then, keep learning.